Yup, all's well in paradise. Oh, yeah. Well, probably play some music this time. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Did you catch my play on words on the video? I'm like, all right, I'll stop hiding. Here's my full name. No moniker, no bullshit, whatever. Yeah. I think it's important. It's like, look, you can't hide anyway. They're going to know what your full name is. What does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So I've been kind of going through this conversation in my head, and oh, that's fine. They'll come back. I've been kind of going through this conversation in my head where I'm like, okay, challenging everything inside of myself to say, what is true love and what is not? And so only true love is allowed to remain in my heart. And that's a fact. And that is more valuable than gold. For sure. So, nobody will be there. That's fine. I don't care. Whoever shows up, shows up. And if they don't, no one shows up, then it's just me. Cold. Because patience is a virtue. It's cold out here. Sat here pondering the last while, just thinking about life in general. I was talking to them out there in the astral plane, in the other realm. Hope you would listen. Feels out of tune. It's like a dot in my heart. I'm gonna pull it on out. Deep down, you know, all those things inside that said I'm not worth loving anyway. Oh, shine deep down in my folk soul. It's cold in the night, you know. I said, you better oath to me in the circle round. True love is all I ever need. All I will allow, say, you're not even in my circle round, say. 'Cause it ain't easy, no, but it's required to sit in my circle round. It's what grandmother, grandfather said, and I will make that oath right here, right now, again and again. Love in the circle round. Ooh, bright as the future. Wait, that hasn't happened yet. Well, then it's bright right now. and it hurts deep down. Keep going. It's hard to know the truth in a rough land, in the land of the blind. Oh, I'm gonna see and show you how to love. That's how I feel. Sometimes it feels like pulling jagged glass out of your heart. There's certain memories and feelings. But if I don't face it, then I can't pull it out, right? And just sit there and hurt. So I said this. I love my friends and my family, so leave them alone. True love shines deep down. Remove every bob, every thorn out of my friends and family. True love is the flame I hold. Yeah. It's hard down by the pond. Ripples on the pond. Sitting down by the old oak tree, hoping you'd see. Shine on. Well, keep your soul bright, you know. Keep the light of truth shining on, says grandmother, grandfather, saw you down there on the reflections on the pond. It's hard being wise, hard being old wise, but it's the way it is, you know. They can have their power and greed. I'll keep the oak seed. Oh, pull my hood back real quick. There we go. Now I can hear better. Let it sit for a minute. Sometimes slack comes into the line, right? Won't you shine rough as I am? Many a tear have I cried down my face. Sat here in the pouring rain. Sat here in the pouring rain. So long, I just figured everything out on the pond as it goes. Every reflection, every ripple said to work hard and suffer long, but boils down to true love's flame, true love's flame, true love's flame. Simple as I am. Sometimes they just want to hurt you for fun. They don't know what true love is, but I do. Said you can claim your folks' soul. You can sit and feed on your tribe like a vampire. Send out my soul like a little bobcat looking all around the pond. Reflections I see way down in a folk soul. In the heart of the matter, shine on, rough as I am. Shine on, forevermore. You can say you didn't know, that would be a lie. You can know the right thing to do, but you do the wrong thing anyway. 'Cause it's hard to face the thing. It's easier just to take the game. But that's a 3-card money on the spread, yeah. Didn't want it anyway. True love's all I ever wanted, all I ever needed. Grandmother, grandfather on the range, they told me I was a freak, I'm acting strange. Yeah, I know. Just wanted to be 100% original folk soul. Original folk soul. They can have all the rest, but I ain't giving that up to nobody for nothing. Way down south, you know, you can hear the pain from deep down south. the love to overcome it. Shine on. I don't know if you ever see. Just tell me what I wanna hear, what you gonna do to be free. Oh, did you just stay here and torture me? 'Cause you hate a true loving soul, reminds you of everything you're not, it says. Robin-I-O, 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 I am forevermore. Way down, yes, way down, staring at the ground, you know. It's most dangerous when the tears stop falling, 'cause you turn to stone. Where you at? Root down, fly high, said, you know. The power of a folk soul is a heart song forevermore. Shine, yeah. True love's flame. True love's flame. Feel me deep down, oh. Be sitting down by the pond, and I'm gonna shine on. Yeah. Power of a true love in a folk song still forevermore. Shine on. That's really how I feel. I don't even want, say, the lost members of our tribe to stay lost. You go, really? Really? You go, I'd like them to claim their folk souls. What's that mean? It means claiming your family. Right? Pretty important, I would say. And that's what I've said. So it's like, in the other realm, you have that choice, right? Where are you going to be if you don't claim your family? You expect them to claim you if you act like a bastard, you know what I mean? And that means you aren't showing love. You're feeding on your own family versus loving them and supporting, where we feed each other instead of acting like vampires. But that's what I've seen a lot, especially online, is that mentality. And somehow it's justified that that's okay, and it's not. It's not okay. And I guarantee you, like, because I boil it down to the base principles of our grandparents, would I like to act that way in front of them? No. Would I like them to feel positive love from me and see me doing the right thing? Yes, absolutely. Because fulfilling that honor is what's going to lift me up. Anything else is just secondary to that. That's how I view it. What am I going to say for myself when I'm standing in front of them? Make excuses? Act immature? No. You got to show total accountability, right? So I said, if I have harmed anyone, then I apologize and I'm accountable, right? That is a big line right there, especially when you mean it. That's being true-hearted. Even if you screw up, you're willing to be accountable for the mistakes. Where when you're dealing with arrogant people, everything is about deception, lying to get what they want, right? Underhandedness. That's not true love. That is all in opposition to true love. Because true love will not betray, ever. And that's reality. Why live any other way? Hands are a little cold. I'm sitting out here, sitting there pondering for a long time. I've been seeing you in my dreams. I don't even know if it's you. Been spun around so long in circles, I don't even know which way. North, south, east, and west. So I better get true like a compass in my heart and soul to say what points true north said. North true, yeah. Wow, man. Today was heavy. I knew it would be. I did my best to not get triggered, you know. But it was difficult. I haven't played very much today, so I'm pretty much coming on just raw, you know. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, true love is all that matters, and everything else is secondary. And that's true love of your family and your friends, and everything that's good, man. I learned that watching my dad suffer and die. And I said, you know what? You don't take care of people, they die. You gotta love them. That keeps them alive. Animals too. Yep. Animals need love. If I just ignored my cat and treated him like shit, I don't think he'd feel very good. I don't think he'd live as long. But I don't do that. I treat him like my friend, because he is. And when I didn't have anything else, animals were there for me. Because they were for real. They weren't full of shit. They just wanted love, food, and shelter, you know, basic things. No deception whatsoever. I even thought about like, what would I do in a breakdown if all of a sudden I didn't have guitar strings anymore, you know? Because I'd have to figure something out, right? I was laughing. I'm like, I'll use fishing line, whatever it takes. Pardon me. It's been a long day. I started getting concerned, you know. I'm like, damn, how does this affect older people, you know? Younger people can handle the stress better, you know. Gotta tune up. There we go. I'm gonna put it this way. If I loved a woman, it wouldn't matter if she was in a wheelchair, because I would stick by her for all of her days. That's the kind of man I am. I would make my best effort to help her. I will endure to the end for you, my love. For true love to stand the sun. I'll stand alone. Yeah. I would give all for you, my love. True love's flame, your true love's flame. Feel, 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 deep I think that's the biggest test, you know, is under pressure. What is your decision-making process? Will you honor love, or will you give in to fear? feel like I ran an emotional marathon, man. The level of heaviness I felt. But, that's the way it is. I chose to face it and not run. Cut the fingernails, I started feeling like however that guy is that does the Robin Hood song in the Disney version. I started feeling like that guy. Oodalolly. That made an impression on me at an early age. I admit it. Oh my, yeah. Oodalolly all the day long. Robin yeah, they were down there by the pond, you see. Yeah, merry men, merry women all around the oak tree. They were down there. There was a trouble in town. Gather all around and root down to fly high. Look around the Palm Beach, suck around the Palm Beach, here I come. Ripples on the Palm Sea, oh. Reflections all around, reflections all around, reflections all around I see. Folks so, folks so living memory. Oh, yeah, take a break here. I'm a little tired, emotionally speaking. Tired enough, stressed enough to knock my guitar over and break a tuner off my other nice Seagull folk instrument. It was fine. Just broke that off. Didn't mess up the head or anything, so I can replace it. It won't be as heavy forever, Everything's got to come into balance. I look at it like being on this earth is like a training ground, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to be tested and watched for personal character. But I would look at it also like, wouldn't they kind of know that in advance? Right? Like who the people are that would be honorable and true-hearted versus the ones that aren't. And kind of think about it like the Navy SEALs, right? Where only 30% graduate, and then who becomes leadership? Only the best of the best. And those are generally people who had to suffer and go through a lot of shit. And that's why they comprehend wisdom, because without that, they may not. And they would end up making unwise choices. Like personal benefit versus what would benefit, say, your family. If you're, the father or the mother, whatever. Both are important. since I grew up primarily with just a single mom, women became supreme to me. That's how it is, right? And it's kind of how my dad was too. You know, he was loyal. He married once, and that was it. Never remarried. I think it was always in the hopes that he could get my mom back or something. And he tried, but it's hard when your mom's, survivor of sexual abuse. She's not going to react to things emotionally the same way other people will. And that made me hypersensitive to everything. How do I relate to people that, didn't have that happen to their family or something? They don't even comprehend it. So it's like, I look at it like an emotional IQ. And my emotional IQ is way, way beyond normal because of, suffering and seeing the emotional stress and spending my life analyzing my own emotions, feelings, thoughts, and all of that. And it became just a natural thing I did. I didn't even think about it after that. But it was always in their toolkit, Something's going on, something comes to the surface, which is what all last year was, is just facing everything all at once, pretty much. And being triggered by it. I recognize it. I think it's because that emotional IQ allows me to see things and feel things deeper, where that could be out of control, that could be dangerous. Because you could crescendo into that and then get stuck there like a resonance or a frequency, right? Emotionally speaking. So how could I use that in a positive way? Well, keep a ripple tide of positive energy, and then everything comes down to a resolution. Even if you face something dark or difficult, it's always aimed at a greater purpose of learning something, right? And so no matter what happens, whether good or bad, is a challenge to my personal character and a chance for growth, right? Or a chance to become disharmonic. And which choice will you choose? Sometimes it's a mix of both. Until you get to the point where you comprehend reality. And you go, what? I'm going to stop doing that bad habit that hurts me, whatever it is. I think that poor emotional health is worse than smoking or anything else. I don't know. That's what I found. And so your frequency affects your overall health. So if I say, true love is the only flame that is allowed in my heart to govern everything, I feel that is the best way to live. Otherwise, you are not accountable for your own actions, and you're going to go around hurting people and then blaming them for your bad behavior. And as an older friend of mine said, he said, bad behavior rewards itself, but so does good behavior. Just by your nature of being true-hearted, you're going to attract that. And then the more true-hearted you are, the harder it is to deceive you. Right? And that is why poor virtue does that. But strong virtue is like a shield and a sword at the same time, full armor. Versus walking around buck naked, blind on the battlefield, spinning in circles while someone's playing pin the tail on the donkey on your ass with pins. It doesn't feel good, emotionally speaking, and laughing at you while they do it. But what if that was somebody razzing you because you're a high IQ type person from the astral realm and you thought you knew everything. You were doing things that were harmful to others. Till you run into somebody like me. And then I checked that. And I said, true love is it. Right? And I can't be arrogant about it. I must be very humble. And then I say this. Grandfather and grandmother are uber, not I. Right? I'm responsible for myself. But if I elevate myself above them, am I really honoring my roots? Nope. But that's why I reach out to the ones that are true-hearted. I don't accept the liars. And neither would your grandparents. Key and paramount in the woodland is having honor. I think that is the greatest loss in modern culture, is holding personal honor, right? Because pleasure's at the touch of a fingertip, right? What's the value of women when you can go watch porn all day? You see what I'm saying? So by the time that man gets anywhere near a woman, he's thinking one thing and that's it. And that, he's concentrated on sexual desire, but he's not focused on, do I love her? Right? Now, if she is attuned to that frequency, then she's going to give into that. Right? Get confused, misconstrue love. I can go both ways. Either men or women can do that. So it's like, what are you valuing? Well, love has to be first. It's got to be number one. And that's why I said that's the core of Robin Hood. Is he is 100% true-hearted to the point of being fatalistic, right? Where he will give up everything to serve the higher good. And, that's what I feel. The higher good of what? The sovereignty of the land, period. Goes for the spirit realm as well. That's what I feel the true essence of Robin Hood is the wisdom of the wood, the wise ones of the wood. Whether you are a woman or a man, right? But in Robin Hood's world, the woman is elevated. That's how I view it. That's how my dad raised me. I have no other way to be. And, old school traditional roles, but equality. I apply druidry to that because under Brehon law, women had equal rights. And I don't view women as less than me. In fact, I view them as greater than me. So I would be honored if she chose me, if she's a true-hearted woman. Does that make sense? Greatly honored. And there's a different attitude with that versus the quick pleasure thrill. They don't value you. So if you are showing them that, then you're saying, I don't have value. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I'm your doormat. No. I think that's why I get angry when I see men act like that, especially doing that in a public forum. I take it personal. Especially if that woman is my friend, I take it very personal. Like you disrespected my sister. I'm ready to kick your ass. That's how I feel. Intellectually speaking, it's not like you can reach through the internet and punch somebody. I'm just saying. I'm not advocating violence, but it just makes me angry. Point of feeling that way, like that is dishonorable, And that's why I always put up that duel between Rob Roy and that other guy, because he had no honor, right? He wanted to show his dominance through his connection to the Lord, and he came in and raped Rob's wife, and you think he's going to say thank you? No. He's going to prepare for battle. That's a deep wound, man. Whoa. And his wife did not want him to know because she didn't want him to get killed. So she went and washed herself and made her son promise to not tell him. And he could no longer bear the pain he had to tell his father. I'm sure that was hard. You got to, internalize that as a real situation. Wow. God, man. I can relate to that. Robert McGregor, right? Definitely. That's like, that would be another essence of my character. I'm like that. Absolutely. But that's fatalistic. But honor had to be upheld for what that guy did. Rob took all the cuts and, the disrespect, the goddamn arrogance of these bastards. And I call them that because that's what they are. They're not tribe. And they sure as hell don't act like it. So either you are tribal and honorable to your tribe, your family, so on and so forth, or you are trash. And that's how I view it. And if that sounds harsh, well, is not the action of disrespect harsh? Right? Is not the act of rape harsh? Well, here's another thing. That can be done on the astral plane, where people abuse spiritual abilities. And that's serious, right? But they think somehow that they're not accountable for their choices or actions when they abuse that power. No. You are abusing true love. That is the essence and core of what your grandparents stand for. And so I'd ask them, would you do that in front of your grandparents? And if the answer is no, then you need to immediately correct what you were doing. Otherwise, you lost your portion, right? You lost your spiritual inheritance. And that's a lot more than just some mountain of gold, right? Have what you want, do what you want, right? But there is a payment for that. When they realize what they have lost, the suffering they will feel will be so great. It's either stay in suffering or choose to be true-hearted. And so that's what I told them. I said, claim your true love, your folk soul. Claim it. Because anything other than true love is not your folk soul. It's a lie. You're doing it for pleasure or gain. And imagine the disappointment in your grandparents' faces. Rather than everything's just anger and blah, blah. No. You created a separation in your own heart by not honoring that. Right? Just like that scumbag that raped Rob Roy's wife. How did he end up? Rob gutted up and cut him down all the way down below the nipple. He was done. What do those people deserve that have been doing that shit, right? If you're going around raping and murdering, you're not honoring love. So therefore, protective love will resist that and attack it just like an animal that you poked a fucking stick at. And then finally the animal gets some traction and he's got your ass. I remember a particular story about this guy who's feeding a tiger, right? 4 fence walls, and he's got to get up on this platform to drop meat in from the top, whatever. He goes to turn around, and he's about to jump down. The tiger had jumped up over the fence onto the platform. And before he reached the ground, his leg was in the tiger's mouth. He had to make a decision. And the decision was to give up his leg to survive. So that tiger bit his leg off from the knee below. Whoa. Yeah. And so that wild animal, eventually, he had enough of being in the goddamn cage and looked at that guy not as a caretaker, but as a fucking slave master. And that tiger said, what? Jumped up, and you're done. Like I think about even our zoos are closed here. Holy shit, This is the biggest show of power I've ever seen on a large scale, ever. And that's not a good indicator for me. I'm an intelligent man. I can figure that shit out. Is it true love or not? Well, what I see going on is not love. It's fear, power, dominance, and perching on a pile of skulls. Is that harsh? Kind of is, but it's truth. So if say, I get the inheritance of the genetic knowledge, whatever, from my ancestors, wouldn't it be a good idea to honor that? But then, let's say that you had ancestors who were not honorable, right? And they are now in the other realm, wherever they are, around a bunch of jerks like them. So, versus honorable people in your line. And so, ultimately, those will be the ones that will be with grandmother and grandfather and nobody else, until they learn the law of true love. And true love is a law. It is the one law, and then the only law you would need. Right? Like I was joking, I said, Robin says, there's only one rule aside from true love, and that's no bitch assness. What's that mean? It means not being a greedy bastard and just screwing everybody over so that you can be rich. That is the heart of Robin Hood. Absolutely. And is that me to the core? Yes. Yes, it is. And I know that. I think it gets lonely sometimes, when you will hold virtue and others won't. But I would rather be alone and hold virtue than to be, let's say, rich, but around a bunch of empty shells. So then let's take these empty shells and they start playing around with energy and magic. Right? But they're not true love. So therefore, what are they feeding on? Sexual energy, fear, negative energy, whatever. So by the time they project into you, if you are radiating that frequency, then they can take control, because anything you won't face emotionally could potentially be a trigger to be used as a weapon against you. And I realized that. So it's like, how can I disarm this? Well, I have to stay centered in true love. That just sounds so easy to do. It's not. You got to hold the tone. This has been hard to keep this channel. There's been many times where I was like, why am I even doing this? Nobody cares about true love. They just want to focus on money. And then I decided, no, there are a few good-hearted people, or at least they've got a piece of the equation for me to stay out here. And you're one of them, whoever's in my chat right now. There's no possible way you would have stayed here this long if you didn't care about it. And I mean that. I don't think you look at me as entertainment. I think that you relate with me as someone who's similar to yourself. And you're right. If you're true love. No one said it would be easy, but it will be right. And that means that I can live in true love forever. Instead of just momentary pleasure, right? Get your rocks off and move along. A true-hearted woman forever, or a prostitute for the moment. No thanks. I want the true-hearted woman. Even if I have to be patient, she's worth it. And that's how I feel. All I can hope for is that she will see me one day and find me. And if that means I have to wait till the other realm, then that's what it is. But with current circumstances, I look at it like, if you say you had the opportunity, you're distracted by fear or, pleasure, whatever distraction, video game, pick one, football, who cares? But you're not focused on that woman. Now, what to say, you found a true-hearted woman, but now you are neglecting her. That's wrong. Your grandfather would correct you very quickly because he's true-hearted, especially if he's old school. And I come from men like that. And I'm grateful because my father was a highly honorable individual. He may have been harsh, but he expected a high standard. And you did not get away with lying and being dishonest around my dad. No, because his mom took all of his money that he earned from the Navy, 30 grand, spent it all on alcohol. Dad came back and imagine the amount of betrayal. Ow, God. But she had a sickness. She was addicted to alcohol. She couldn't stop. But there must have been something in her, some kind of damage or trauma, or it's usually what it is, that drove her toward that addiction. Same reason I smoke cigarettes, whatever, but more extreme. So years ago, I decided, no, I'm just going to be straight up as honest as I possibly can with all the people around me that I love, especially my mom, that she knows where I stand, because she deserves it. She's made a lot of effort at being a good person. And that's where in survival, it really comes down to base root, family, tribe. And I told her, no matter what happens, I will stand by you and I will not turn on you. I'm not like that. Under stress and pressure, I'm good. Like I said, being a billionaire is not my expertise, but loving people is. I just have to stay there and not get so sad that I just feel like nobody gives a shit, because that's what happens sometimes. Especially when people don't reach out to you or even make an effort at all. That's why it hurt me when I said that, and no one even emailed me nothing. I said, well, what am I worth to these people if they won't even message me to tell me who they are? I wouldn't mention anything. I'd keep it private. I'm just saying, I'm telling you that right now. That's your choice. You don't have to. But it would be nice if you did. I'd really appreciate it. That would make me feel good. I really don't have anyone else that comes in here on a regular. And you see, I take it personal. Yeah, that's my whole name is on my channel now, because that's me, not some business or whatever. So, again, give you another opportunity to contact me if you want. BobcatTruthKeeper@gmail.com. Got it? Because I am not a stuck-up, arrogant person, nor am I an out-of-control psycho. I think I'm pretty clear. Probably the clearest you have heard me. Well, just singing helps me, sometimes, but my emotions affect my singing, so it's like, if I don't feel good, I probably won't want to sing, because I'll end up forcing it too much or something, and I just have to find a balance. But true love is the balance. It is the ultimate counterbalance for anything the dark side tries. Anything, I don't care. Stay true, and no matter how you are challenged, you will be victorious. And that is what I feel. All right. Try to find a song for us. Oh, wow. So thank you for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. And after I've flipped out, got all upset and everything. I know. I'm sensitive. Ooh, back to the Slav epic. That's becoming a major focus for me. I don't know. It's so trippy. Gotta close some windows. The way everything unfolded from sovereignty goddess to everything, because I was, in harmony with what my path was. Wow. And I said, wow, but I didn't think that I mean, I knew, but it's gotten way out of hand, way bigger than I ever thought it would. As far as like the whole pandemic thing and the scare and all these institutions being shut down, everything being kind of forced to be online. And that's become the reality, right? And I'm like, okay, what message are they sending if that earthquake happens on 3/18, and then you've got the announcements from Trump on 3/18, then you've got the trumpet falling off of the Moroni statue. How many symbols do I need? Ooh, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Okay, yeah. I'm going to read Kresnik. This is how I feel. Vampire hunter. So I decided a long time ago in goth culture that I didn't want to be a vampire. I'd rather be a vampire hunter. I thought that was more badass. Like Bobcat shape. I shape shift into Bobcat and go fight evil or something. I think I'm joking. Not really. I'm serious. Okay, a Kresnik or Kresnik is a type of vampire hunter. Listen clear. A shaman whose spirit wanders from the body in the form of an animal. That's me to a T for sure. The Kresnik turns into an animal at night to fight off the Kudlok. Okay. His evil vampire antithesis. Oh my God. Is that what's been going on in my life? The vampires are like, we know who you are. And then we've come to find you. They're like astral projecting at you and shit. I think I'm joking. Not really. Feels like that sometimes. Okay. They're a bunch of jokers. With the Kresnik appearing as a white animal. Interesting. Remember, like white horses being prominent, right? And the Kudlok is a black one. Now, I will equate that to, say, the white orb of energy, folk soul, versus the dark energy of destruction, which is no love, whatever. It's the opposite of true love, and everything has a polarizing, opposite. So I thought about like two spiders. One was like a spider of light, weaving life and everything, and one was a spider of death, going and destroying, ripping things apart. An interesting perspective I have, I guess. And then the final battle is those two forces facing off, right? And then obviously, true love will prove itself and be more powerful, because it is. Total unity. Magnification, multiplication of folk soul light. Mm-hmm. The Kresnik soul leaves the body either voluntarily or due to a higher power. Ooh. Wow. Grandmother, grandfather tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, it's time. Yep, you got to pass the test. Yep, rite of passage. Okay. A higher power to fight evil agents and ensure good harvest, health, and happiness. Yep. I think that sums up to a T current reality of what's up. Mm-hmm. Here we go. I really do. I honestly do. I am a Kresnik. That's how I view it. Mm-hmm. Yep. The legend evolved from a pre-Christian. Oh my God. Now, check this shit out. I am tripping. All of this, remember? If you've been with me this long, you remember when I did the Kresnik videos, right? Kresnik! Wow. The legend evolved from a pre-Christian. Now remember, where did that earthquake just happen? A 5.4. Pre-Christian myth present in Slovenia and Croatia. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? Wow. Mainly Istria and the islands, where the celestial pagan god Perun is locked in eternal combat with the evil snake of the underworld, Velos. See, I think they took a lot of the old pagan stories and then they twisted that into Christianity. That's my opinion. The Kresnik is taught magic by, let's see, Vile, fairies, or what? Elves. And in traditional medicine has the ability to heal people, right? So they're a healer. And cattle. However, due to undocumented nature of oral tradition, it's difficult to determine with certainty how much of the Kresnik folklore originated from Slavic mythology. Kresnik deity, okay. How much arose from a separate shamanistic tradition. See, and all of our tribes had some kind of shaman tradition, in my opinion, of course. After Christianization, the Kresnik instead was claimed to have learned magic at the school of black magic in Babylon. What kind of bullshit is that? You see that script being flipped? What's all this Crowley shit tied into? The Magi, Persian magic, Babylon, whatever. Let's say the sovereignty goddess versus the temple prostitute. Big difference, right? But retain benevolent traits as a generous and powerful friend of the poor. Sounds like Robin Hood, doesn't it? Sure does. The origin of the name may be from the word Christ. Oh man, which means cross. Bam. So they just went in and just eviscerated this myth and just absorbed it. Wow. No wonder they wanted to go and wipe out, all those epics. Dang, dude. Which Serbia is the word for a stone. Whoa. Stone sign denoting village boundaries. What's that denoting? Sovereignty. Boundaries, protection. May also be derived from the same root as the Slav word for resurrection. Wow. So a Kresnik could possibly come back. What did I say about them coming up out of the ground? So that the word, because they are a spirit of the land. They're connected to the land, right? So that the word itself means, I'm talking about werewolves, whatever. So that the word itself means something approximating resurrector. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Serious. Very serious. Okay, now the underworld, Velas. I'm going to do it. Ooh. Let's see. Velas, also known as Volas, is a major Slavic god of earth, waters, and the underworld. His attributes are wet, woolly, hairy, bearded. That sounds kind of like Mananan Maclear, right? Dark, and he is associated with cattle, the harvest, wealth, music, magic, and trickery. Sounds kind of, you'd have to be tricky too in war sometimes, right? Believed to be related to the Indo-European deity, let's say Mitra, whatever, according to reconstruction by some. Yeah, whatever. No. Okay, the Vile, let's do that. Ooh, very. Look at this. That's cool. Vile, plural. Okay, Vila, plural, Vile. V-I-L-E. So South Slavic fairy, similar to a nymph, female, beautiful, and with long blonde hair. How's the Queen of Elfame described? Serbo-Croatian, Vila, Slovene, Vila, Bulgarian. Wow, so it's widespread. Old East Slavic. It's all similar. Diva comes from that. Interesting. The Vila is known among South Slavs and Slovaks only. Quotations about her occurrence among Poles are wrong. Among Czechs, Vila denotes a wood spirit. Bam. There's your Robin Hood. Well, the masculine counterpart. 15th century. The ancient place names such as Belize and Tabor, Bilog near, Domazlis and Villain near Sedekani seem to indicate that she was known there as well. So that's the goddess. And I was like, everything I've done is to point out how the sovereignty goddess was directly targeted. That's wells, sacred sites, woodland clearings dedicated to her, right? Like St. Patrick built over Mauch's clearing, or the Morgan's clearing, right? The sovereignty goddess. Wow. Okay. In Russia, Vilae are mentioned in the 11th century, but there is doubt that they were truly a part of Russian folklore. I just think there is an ongoing effort to just undermine everything. Just like that, the Slav epic artist was targeted. That's why my opinion is that World War II was manipulated from both sides. Agents on both sides. Left and right, but they're both connected to the same bird. Got it? All right. Moving on. Ooh. Whoa. Possible explanations are from the verb biti, to wind, right? Ever heard, or whirlwind, right? Like the wind's kicking up, like if there was some kind of supernatural, entity around, the wind start acting up strange. Yeah. That might refer to that. Just saying. Among South Slavs, Vilae are portrayed as beautiful women with long blonde hair. There are three kinds: those living on land and in forests. Water nymphs. See, this sounds very similar to Irish folklore. Let's see. Cloud or air nymphs. Interesting. Appear as swans, falcons, horses, or wolves. So one time, I was on the road with my friend, and we had the car pulled over, whatever. This horse comes out of nowhere with no saddle, walks right up to me and stares me in the eyes. It was trippy. It wasn't normal. And then just disappeared. Whoa. Yeah. People think the spirit world's not real. Yeah, it's very real in my opinion. As a whirlwind at night, they roam the clouds, emitting a terrible noise of pipes and drums. Anyone who calls them becomes stiff and moves only with difficulty. He is stricken by disease and dies within a year or two. Whoa. Vilae, see, in that, what is that saying? That beings whom do not operate like humans could affect you and harm you, possibly. Vilae like to ride horses or stags. Now, remember Lord of the Rings, or Battle of the Five Armies. The Wood Elf King comes in riding a stag, right? If I remember correctly. A white stag. So kaboom. They go hunting. Parallel to Goddess Diana, okay. Dance in a circle dance. What did I say about the circle dancing, that being ancient, right? Directly tied to rites of passage. Okay. And seek the love of handsome, strong men, assisting them against their enemies. Interesting. Their fondness for fighting is reminiscent of the Teutonic Valkyrie. So those are your ancestral guardian spirits, and is unique in Slavic mythology. They possess supernatural powers and are able in the art of healing. They build splendid castles at the edges of clouds. They confuse men's spirits with their arrows. Yeah, but what type of men do they confuse? They steal children and substitute them with changelings? I don't know. I think that you would have ancestral guardian spirits, and then it would make sense that they would turn those into demons and evil, whatever. So you drive your protection away from you. So what has happened, if, let's say, these ancestral spirits are real, then you have driven them away from yourself if you're acting dishonorably. Now, here's something interesting. I'm going to relate this to Jill Janis. She had a song called Blood Sisters, and she was heavy into, studying mythology and other things, whatever her background is that she wants to do. But in Serbian epic poetry, every hero has a vila as an elective or blood sister. Now, you remember Kresnik, and it reported like he had a twin or something like that, okay? Best known as Serbo-Croatian, Rabajola, I don't know, a name probably derived from Raphael. Oh yeah, whatever. No, I don't think so. Girls can also have vile as blood sisters. That's what Jill was talking about in her song. A deeper meaning than people realized. And may ask them to improve one's beauty or to protect a distant lover. Vile are usually friendly to people, but they can take horrible revenge on those who insult them. I can see that. So they are very just. They are true-hearted, and they do not take shit. And they will whoop your ass for being a dishonorable piece of trash. Disregard their orders or uninvitedly approach their circle dance. Ooh. You do not go into their circle uninvited. Woohoo. So I would say, well, I invite them to watch over me. And any bitch asses that want to come into my circle get to deal with that. Because they are not going to put up with their crap. That's how I feel. If they're out there. Yeah, you got my back. She's like, yes, I do. I'm like, wow, okay. General amiability distinguishes them from the Rusolki, okay? The folk venerated them by placing flowers, see, the flower crown too, food and drink, and also, right, what do you see the image of? White dress, flower crown, okay? Food and drink before caves where they were believed to have lived. Now also, the Morrigan is said to have had, the Cave of Cats or something, and the warriors would go in there, and it was like a little small crawl space, and it was a rite of passage. All right, let's see. Ooh, Western European references. T. Myers says, Conversations Lexicon defines wiles or willis as female vampires. So there's your counterpart, right? You have a guardian, but then you have a dark side aspect of that. That's what you have to be mindful of holding true love, because they can't hold true love. Maybe your only shield. Spirits of betrothed girls who die before their wedding night. Whoa. According to Hein, Willis are unable to rest in their graves because they could not satisfy their passion for dancing naked, okay, especially in town squares. They also gather on the highway at midnight to lure young men and dance them to their death. Whoa. There's this scene, in a episode of, I think, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where this demon appears and essentially makes everybody dance until they die or something, whatever. Okay. But it was a male spirit, you know. In Serbia, they were maidens, cursed by God, Christian overlay. See, this was the destruction of the priestess class. Do we see this? I do. In Bulgaria, they were known as Samodiva, girls who died before they were baptized. And there again, Christian overlay. And in Poland, they were beautiful young girls floating in the air. Whoa. Remember, I kept saying witch of the wood, floating in the air, right? Atoning for frivolous past lives. There's all this berating and downrating. You see what I'm saying? Negativity. In some tales, the reason for abandoning their loves is a sad one. The Bila are cursed, never to find, their true love. So therefore, what do they feed on? Lust, sexual energy. That's it. Wow. Whoa. If they do, that love will die a terrible death. So basically, they would smother that person until they died. Whoa. This legend inspired Victor Hugo to include Les Willis in his poem Phantoms. In Les Orientales, 1828. Heinrich Heine, in the 1835, let's see, De Allemagne vividly, hold on, describes Die Willis as a Slavic legend. Pardon me. Hiccups. Willis appeared in Adolphe Adams' romantic ballet, Giselle, first danced in Paris in 1841. So this is going down. This has got a long history. We see J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter series. Vila are magical beings who resemble stunningly beautiful women. They can put men into trance with their singing and dancing. And when angered, they transform into horrific bird-like creatures. That sure sounds like the Morrigan, doesn't it? Sure does. Can launch fireballs from their hands. Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's the end of that. But that was really fascinating. Wow. And seeing the interrelatedness. Wow. So that's kind of what I'm saying is, if I am true-hearted, then that's the kind of beings I will attract. If I am lustful and seeking, power, then what am I going to attract? That which feeds on that. That's not love, right? Exactly. So there it is. True love. And so you can't be misled by a being that doesn't love you and just basically feeds on you until you drop. And there's only one way out, and that is to embrace true love 100%. Why do you think I keep saying that? Because I know that on a spiritual level. That's it. And so everything else is secondary to that, to holding that virtue, right? I think that's a pretty good message. I do. And I'm a Kresnik to the core. I'm like, I hope one of the positive ones show up. They're like, can I get one of those female ancestral spirits to show up and watch my back? They can razz you and give you shit until you embrace true love. I can see that. I'll see what you choose, you know. Or test you. Ooh, what if it was the guardian spirit of, say, possibly a woman you could be with if you were true love, and then they test you to the core, especially if she's good and she's already proven herself. Same goes for the man. What if the man has proven himself to be true love and she isn't? Well, she won't respect it. So that's why you can't put money in front of love. Just like that ancestor of mine, where that made me sad, man. Where she's pregnant and he can't marry, he won't marry her because she's lower status, and so she ends up having to adopt out the child. You know what I'm saying? That's shitty. I think that would be a curse on him for not just saying screw it, this social bullshit. I love her, I'm with her, and that's how I would have been. I wouldn't have done that. But that doesn't denote good character to me at all. Wow. Something to think about, what you're attracting. Wow. Croatia. God. I knew there was a connection. I'm like, what is up with this? This is like coming to a head, you know what I mean? And eventually, when you go to the spirit realm, all the bullshit's out the window. All the perceived reality of what you thought the truth was is out the window. Because you don't define what is. What is does. And that's grandmother and grandfather. Period. My opinion. Otherwise, what's the point of all this existence? It would be kind of pointless, right? There's, I don't know, nowhere to grow. Just, get to a certain point and then just stagnate. I don't think so. I think you continually transform and grow and become greater as a folk soul, say, through resonating true love. And that is the only way, to me, that is worth living. Nothing else is. What is value? Right? Well, it's not superficial bullshit, that's for sure. It's love. And being true-hearted, there is nothing else. I just don't see it. Ooh, it is cold. Cold out here, baby. Yep. So that's my message. I hope it was good. I think it was. I think so. That was cool. I haven't read that before. That was way interesting. Kind of thinking about the sovereignty goddess sitting there in that tree in the white dress. And I was like, ooh. It was all for true love to stand Guardians rise, shining we. Grandmother, grandfather, tree flame and web, all sure as the sun shines, sure as the sun shines. Well, if I feel motivated, I'll come back and I'll do some music DJing, but I don't want to risk this being taken down for any reason. It's an important video. So thank you for coming. Really appreciate that. Love you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care. Circle round. Grandmother and grandfather, we honor. True love forever.